Welcome back. We are on SEO.
Conspiracy.com.
Here you go.
There you go. Hi, guys. So we're back.
Hello,
Right.
Mr. Dixon. There's a big topic today because we already had a video titled Who is the Boss at Google? And it was good because we set up the path going from strings to things, machine learning, and so on.
Yeah.
Ben Gomes, Jeff Dean, those guys, knowledge graph, and then a new cowboy came in town. New face.
I think cowboy is probably a bit extreme, really. Isn't it?
Well, he's from Indian cowboy.
Yeah, okay.
From India. From India.
Okay, and so how do you pronounce his name? Prabhakar Raghavan?
Prabhakar Raghavan. Yes. Let's be honest with dear watcher. We practice a couple of times. Prabhakar Raghavan.
Absolutely.
He's an OG. He started with IBM. He set up Yahoo Labs. He headed Yahoo Labs. Mm-hmm. He's been at Google for a long time. He has the reputation to be the cleaner, the guy who integrates, who sorts out the mess, G Suite, the cloud, ads, and now he's adding search, ads, and Google Assistant voice.
So it seems that they're trying to sort of blend everything into a more seamless kind of experience. And I guess they have been doing lots of things with features, changing, putting new features, spending a lot of time doing those kind of things recently. But if they're trying to make it a more seamless experience, if that's his main role, I mean, you say elegance and simplicity, it's not that simple. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And you were making the anecdote a little bit earlier on that things seem to be breaking at Google. Do you think there's conspiracy there? Do you think that's related?
Well, he just took over. And you know how it happens in these type of companies. It's not like there's a transition period. It's like, okay, you out or you move to that, to there, you come in here. And then they got to figure out the dials. And I don't know. There's been like, since the move, there's been like a series of bugs and many tests of features. So things are moving, definitely moving. He's not the kind of guy who is waiting around to he's acting. It's too early to see the results, but I think he likes elegance and simplicity, but also I think it's Zuckerberg who say, act fast and break things.
Yeah, well, certainly they're acting fast and breaking things right now, it seems. But I wonder how he strikes me as a builder of ideas. Not, G Suite is a good example. It's a fantastic system. It's quite and it's certainly elegant. But I don't see him, from what I see, as a consolidator of ideas. It sounds to me that we've got all those different umbrellas all reporting to him. Then you would sort of assume that he's trying to streamline things. But he's more of a creator of new stuff than somebody that's taking search, which, let's face it, is 20 years old for Google, and trying to smooth over the waters and stuff. It doesn't sound like his
sorting out the mess. Yeah. Well, G Suite was a mess. He did sort that out. He did some things like, for example, in Gmail, the machine learning that writes for you, understands what you. I think that was him.
Okay.
And if you know G Suite from the early days and you use it now, definitely on the paid side, not the free version. It's incredible how smooth everything is working together. But now you're right, integrating the mess of a search engine that goes back from the 90s with ads, which is still very much old school. The way they are starting to do some tests with like vertical Instagram-like type of just on mobile with the Google Discovery. The Google Discovery is the ad platform of Google Discover. So that just started.
I suppose if they've sat there and said, right, the world is moving to voice search, whether we like it or not, and we're moving away from our screens or desktops entirely. 10 years from now, none of us will have desktops, or very few of us. Then if you're going to work with that kind of basis, and they've been talking about mobile for ages anyway, then I suppose then they're going to start thinking, well, all of this knowledge and this information that we've got doesn't come back in a screen necessarily. It comes back in a different manner. So how do they focus the results to be usable in voice search or in different mediums apart from, sight, screens? Because maybe the screens disappear. Turn into Google Glass.
At this point, because it's still early, okay, it's been just a couple of months, and we can only speculate. But for sure, what we can say is every single SEO who studies Google search engine results says that it's worse today than it was
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I guess somebody noticed at Google because this change is and the fact that I don't know where is Ben Gomes now. He's probably still vice president or something.
No, he's gone over to search and education. He's gone over to the training side.
SVP education.
That's a very interesting move, really. It's like, okay, Ben, you can't do any damage over there. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm so sorry, Ben. That's what it looks like.
And Jeff Dean is into AI. Well,
okay.
But it was definitely more Ben Gomes, the boss. Oh, we know it's not a promotion, okay? It's not like you did a good job, you're getting promoted. No. It's not. It doesn't look like it. And it's more like, okay, who is the best we know in the company to be able to sort out the mess? Okay, we have this guy who did a wonderful job for the cloud, for G Suite, for Google Ads. Let's just put him in charge. That's what it feels like.
If that's the case, and then then you say he's acting pretty quick, then it's probably more than a just. I think it's just they've obviously got a plan. It just seems that they've changed it a few times recently. I wonder if COVID did something with it. I mean, there's been a huge change in the way in which we as humans are going to operate from here on in. So we've gone back to working from home. We've all got our laptops out and our desktops out again. There's been a massive rise in desktop use since COVID lockdown, funnily enough. And maybe that's got some underlying implications for Google's audience, which is used to be out in a business world, and now it's all working at home. Maybe it's changed some of the underlying metrics. I don't know, but you are right though. Google's results are just not as well. I don't think they're as good as they were 10 years ago, but they were clever 10 years ago. Maybe they are. Maybe they're better now, but we forget. I should. Maybe it's just 10 years ago. My site was number one.
No. We've spoken. It's fine when it's easy. How to change a tire? Okay, fine. They show up some feature snippet or whatever, but we spoke about it. When it becomes a little bit trickier, which wine to drink with red meat or whatever, they still feature whatever site does structured data.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
has no finesse, has no granularity. It's dry. It's binary because Google doesn't understand what it reads, and we always go back to, if it's good to structure data, but how can you trust the source? And so they have, they can only show Wikipedia because it's already everywhere. But then what other sources do they have? They have those media sites. They have a few
IMDb and
So they don't have that many trusted sources with huge data sets to pull some.
And the vast majority of those trusted sources at some level have some manipulation going on, somewhere in the system. They just do, really, because, if it becomes a trusted source and, then, and you can get into that trusted source, then you've manipulated the knowledge graph. And I think that that's changed. I was on a webinar with Mike King, iPool Rank. I don't know if you know Mike King. And he was saying, one of the real problems with the knowledge graph is that it's white centric. Black points of view and black takes on things are incredibly underrepresented in the things that have been built up in the knowledge graph to this point. And so that's just one example of many different sections of society that are where there's bias in the algorithms because of the trusted data sets are not universal or not are not universal in nature, and they are they've been written by those that turn up.
Our friend Prabhakar, when he
was back to the subject,
when he was at Yahoo Labs, well, guess what? Trust rank.
Yahoo Labs.
That was him. And also, there's a research paper from 2000 called "Graph Structure in the Web: How Links Can Provide Useful Information for Search Engines."
He's my man. I like that man. I like him.
So for 30 years, he's been into search, and it feels like he's been right from the start in the right way of looking at search. So I have a lot of faith that this guy can do the job and figure out how to scale this whole machine learning thing. And
do you think he's doing that, or do you think he's old school and he's going back to the old way of doing things?
No. I think he's moving forward. I don't think he's looking back. He has the experience from the past. But you can't go back. They can't go back. No, they can't turn the dial. No way. But I like his mindset. I like his background. I like where he comes from. And I don't know.
See if everyone can get on with him. You don't know about the personalities and stuff. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah.
If there's one who can save Google, save Google. Google doesn't need saving, but Google needs definitely more a clearer vision as far as search, ads, and voice, integrating everything together, building a better experience. The mobile also is something that is very difficult to grasp, and then we have so many hidden problems in mobile. I read the other day a paper about how to display ads on mobiles is so much more expensive than on a computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so many well, it just feels like this guy has the right mindset to look at the problems in the right way and figure the solution. Now, he seems to have a lot of power, because if you're heading search, ads, and assistant, that's pretty much everything Google. Alphabet takes care of cloud, of other stuff, but the Google will know is definitely the voice, ads, and the search.
it makes the idea of there's a Chinese wall between ads and search a little harder to argue for Google, doesn't it? If they've got ads and organic managed by the same guy.
Yeah. It's probably maybe actually a good move because it's well known that there is a huge wall between ads and search. That they well, of course, ads, they bring all the money, they have all the best engineers, they have all the money, they have everything, and search is a second in the in the pyramid, in the scale, is underneath ads. But yeah, that would be very, very interesting in the future to see where Google is heading thanks to this guy.
One thing though, I mean, I guess Google Analytics is off of his domain then. So that's run by someone else. I don't know who's running that, but that's interesting because there can be for GDPR, maybe they're sort of building their systems so that the data can only cross boundaries when it's allowed to. Because the amount of personal data that these big companies have got is, of course, frightening and hard for them to now abide by all of the laws of all of the countries that they're working in, because the laws are so different and not always converging, really.
Well, did you read the news about Cloudflare?
Cloudflare, yeah. Which one? Yeah. Oh, yes. What are they doing?
Well, they are doing this new analytics.
I did see it.
Privacy,
I saw it on Webmaster World.
Privacy, respect.
But I saw it, and I saw it on Webmaster World, and then I tried to click through, and I couldn't read the details of it. But a privacy-conscious search engine analytics system. But that's been done before. I mean, so I use Matomo quite a lot, which is quite a cool system, and you can then make that so that it gets rid of the last three IP bits of the IP address and stuff in there. But the problem it won't take very much for somebody to take any kind of set of data and then layer on another set of data, and it becomes personalized again. That's the real challenge. Your product may be compliant, and this product may be compliant, but when you blend those two data sources, then you're pretty much personally identifying people. So you can say, right, we're only going to record what town these people come from, and then we're going to say we're only going to record their first names. Well, okay, I'm the only Dixon in Harlington.
There's a solution. I don't know if they like it, but it's called Shadow or something like that. You store everything on the device. Whatever is your personal data is not uploaded. It stays on the device. So you still have the good side of profiling because you have personalized results and stuff, but if it doesn't go back on the cloud, then what's the point? Data, they need data. They need to.
Well, the thing is that's all fine, but since browsers now can pass information in two directions, as soon as you load your page, that information can be shared, and then if somebody's got an extension on the system, goodness knows what they find. So I don't know if that will fix the problem.
Well, that's the new tracking trend, because you can put cookies. So now they track you with the footprint of the browser, because supposedly there aren't two browsers set up the same way in the world. So the footprint of the browser is a good way. Also, I heard they can put some stuff in e-tags of the image. They always figure out some sneaky ways to spy on you. But if privacy becomes more than the trend, Apple seems to go that way. You might lose some traffic because Safari is not showing up the
I think for for the time being, it's on the back burner. I mean, COVID in the UK, track and trace. Yeah, we didn't want anybody tracking us, but now if it's going to stop us dying from COVID, then track and trace is okay. Well, that's about as invasive as it can be in terms of it knows where I am and who I've been with, but I'll take it because it's trying to do me some good. But that technology is just going to stay around now. So now that technology is using Bluetooth for to see what devices have been next to each other. Mm-hmm. And it's a great system, but it'll be really good when you say, right, that person's we're going to let that person out of jail, and we'll have their phone on them, and they'll track and trace, and then everybody that's associated with them is immediately suspicion, on the blacklist. So that's going to start happening at some point, if it hasn't already. I'm sure it has already.
It's Raymond Loewy, a industrial designer from the early 30s. Who said for something to work, it needs to be revolutionary yet acceptable. Mm-hmm. So society needs to be ready for something. Otherwise, for example, like the chip in the brain or the body, seems like the younger generations are okay with it. Seems like old folks like us are like, oh, this is scary. So it's all about how society evolves, and because people are addicted to have a better, easier life, how can you say no? I'm putting a chip in your arm and I'm saying, okay, I can tell you when you get cancer, you can live until 200 years. Hard to say no,
we will all be part of the matrix. We are already part of the matrix.
I was going that way, and then okay, we are now like stuck inside, and then you can flip a switch and you're on top of Mount Everest skiing or whatever, and it feels real. So
you all the right pheromones and endorphins and things are going off in the right place.
It's most definitely I remember a keynote I did. It was on Google Now, and it was 2012 or something like that. It was the first, and I was already explaining all this. Google Assistant, predictive search, all this stuff. And people were looking at me with eyes like big like this. I was like, yeah, it's happening. That's and Google Now was the very first step.
It was really interesting. Since I never had an Android phone, it took me a while to look at Google Now. But I had to buy an Android phone just to go and have a look at it. I remember.
I did too. Regardless, what we can say is, we are not going backwards. Okay. We won't go back to the old way. Google will not will not get rid of machine learning. The chip in the brain is coming at one point.
Yeah. Okay. But that's probably not Prabhakar's role. He's probably not going to do the chip in the brain bit. His job is to make search more elegant. Right.
Yeah, it's trying to clean up the mess, to make it work, look good, integrate everything.
Yeah.
And maybe bring back it feels like Google needs a little bit of slick is the word.
Yeah, it's lost the cool, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's lost the cool.
Yeah. Everything looks old. Everything looks old. And and it's definitely like a slick. I like that word. Google
and
make it slick.
And Bing are really trying on that. They're trying to make their stuff look slick. I don't know if it's better, but they're trying to make it slick. So maybe Google are seeing Bing as competition. Stranger things.
All right, my friend. You know what?
What are we on next time?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out by next time.
We'll figure it out because we haven't talked about it. So that was the list for this time.
Okay.
Surprise topic next time, but it will be good. Stay tuned.
Fantastic. Cheers.